tax time is where small business admin starts to show. In this EOFY Explained workshop, Sol brought together experts across accounting, operations, and business growth to answer common tax time questions, from records and deductions to GST, BAS, systems and planning for the new financial year. Here are the key highlights.
If I was a small business and I've done pretty well this year, but I'm looking to kind of scale up in the next financial year, I really want to take things to the next level. What are the 2 or 3 things that you would say is critical and fundamental for me to have a look at? And what would you do to kind of get that sorted?
Yeah, from a small business standpoint, I think it's super important to get your digital infrastructure right from the get-go. I'll use an example of this guy like 4 months ago. He came to us and he didn't even have a business and he wanted to just start mowing lawns, water blasting. His name's Mr. Mo. He tried to put together a website on designs.com. It was a templated website, so obviously there's no schema markup and wasn't built to SEO best practice. And he kind of quickly realized that because he's trying to launch, didn't get any leads, and it just didn't work for him. So he came to us and I said, look, let's redo your website. We'll do it properly with a good SEO foundation from the get-go. And so what we did, he's actually based in Gore, New Zealand, so small little rural town in the South Island of New Zealand. And his service area was really about 50 minutes drive around there, right? What we did is we wanted to target all of those suburbs and neighbouring towns with the services that he offered. So the website reflected that, right? So it was, lawn mowing, Gore, Mataura, Edendale, Invercargill, and then all the different services, right? So he then created this basically a web and a matrix of pages for each of those locations. All of a sudden, he's got 3 KFCs wanting him to do his lawns and gardens every 2 weeks. His phone's ringing off the hook, a whole bunch of people wanting to work for him because we got him to the first place of Google for all the relevant search terms, right? So his business blew up. Within a month, he's on track to make 350 grand of revenue. And he's hired 2 people in the first month of doing that activity. So really a huge change can just be like getting your website and your digital infrastructure right and getting that marketing sorted, right? He's just spending a small amount on Google Ads, nothing massive. He, like 2 jobs covers his monthly marketing spend. So his ROI on that is great. And so that's what you really got to look at is like, what are you restricted by and how can you alleviate those restrictions and get those leads flowing in, right? So any small business can do this, right?
What are you seeing as the biggest trends in AI for small business? And Michael, I know that you've obviously got a lot of experience in this as well. So happy for you to kind of weigh in on the back of Shashir to kind of broaden the answer.
I think mostly it's going to be automation of your usual processes. It's now so easy to just hop over on Claude, ChatGPT, provide a small blurb of what you're doing, what you want to do. And it's not just small businesses, right? Even in businesses like ours, we are now heavily relying on Claude and ChatGPT to provide us details and provide us strategy. And I think that the earlier you start getting familiar and using these tools, it's going to be a lot easier in the next 6 months, 1 year, right? When it's everything AI and searching for content, researching for content, selling, all needs to pass through AI. So I think that's one key takeaway we are implementing on our side, but I would say small businesses more so.
Kerry, I've got one more question, I think, before we throw and do the closing. I'm just conscious of time, but I have been asked a little bit this year around, I need some support, my business is growing. I don't know if I can afford someone onshore. I don't know if I can, should I go for a full-time person, part-time person, onshore? Like, have you got any thoughts on that? Like, what is the kind of space a founder or a small business needs to be in to kind of do that scaling, looking at offshore, looking at onshore, looking at part-time, leading into full-time? What are your thoughts?
Yeah. So look, in all honesty, I would say one, start sooner rather than later. Start small, then grow. They're the two things. There's quite a lot of people out in the space. Like there's fractional companies like us that take care of operations. There's fractional like Michael who do marketing. So you can always start small and grow. There's also VAs out in the community that you can get, and they're both onshore and offshore. My only caveat around the offshore is that be conscious that not every VA is the same. Right, the skill level that you're going to get generally here onshore is much more significant. Yes, the price may be a little bit higher, but the efficiency is going to be significant. The other thing to be aware of, and it might be something that Julie and Stephen are probably conscious of as well, they might know about the case that happened with an offshore employee that was employed full-time by a business over here in Australia, where they actually had fair work rights. So if you're thinking of going offshore because then you don't have to worry about the whole fair work business, you may need to reconsider that.